Life will continue to throw the same exact struggle in a different outfit.
Whoever upsets you is setting you up to either respond or
Yes.
to react.
There's nothing more whole than a broken heart.
When you're in the lower of the mountain, you have the whole sky in front of you.
You think you're in a fight with your partner or not. The child version of you is throwing rocks at the child version of them.
The problem's the solution.
Your childhood will impact who you are until you get in there and you
scary
change
stuff.
it.
Welcome, Aliza. It's nice to have you here. We're here for round 2 of our conversation.
It is so good to be back. I'm excited for everything we're going to dive into today.
Amazing. And I know last time we spoke about a little bit about psychology, but now today we're going to talk about more breakups. We're talking about divorces, talking about relationships, inner child, healing, pretty much of everything.
Okay, let's
do
it.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What's out there?
What's out there? What a heavy question
What are you
for
feeling?
relationships.
What are people coming up with?
I think, I was reflecting on my way here, and one of the questions I was asking myself is, if I had to boil down the flaws and the issues that I see in relationships the most, that differs from regular psychology and the regular work that I do, I would say, and this is like a little off script for me. I'm a very behavioral therapist. I take things, I understand why people are the way they are, and then in the moment I heal and I say, let's do the work now.
Right.
When it comes to relationships, if there isn't inner child awareness, if there isn't childhood understanding, if you haven't broken through the barriers of how you grew up, I really don't think people stand a chance.
So true. It's so true. I'm going on my own healing journey, and it's funny because the same word for tikkun is tinok. Yeah,
Wow, I never heard that before.
Yeah, the same word. The tikkun happens in the tinok.
Wow,
It's like you have to go back to the inner child.
that's so real.
Yeah, and I gave a class today. It was phenomenal. The Presence Process by Michael Brown, and he writes that the word "set up" is the same word as upset. Whoever upsets you is setting you up to either respond or to react.
Yes.
You have the ability to respond and heal.
Yes.
Or you can reenact the same
patterns,
situation,
the same cycles
patterns,
until
exactly.
the day you die.
How do you identify a pattern, and how do you break the pattern? How do you walk a client through that?
The first thing to know is that whatever it is that your healing responsibility is going to be in life, if it hasn't come out already, it will come out in a relationship.
For sure.
It will come out in the dating process when people struggle with self-worth or with avoidance or over-attachment. It will come out in marriage with avoidance of our own emotions, with control, with anxiety. Whatever it is that your life's work is meant to be here in this world, it's going to come out in your relationship dynamic if you haven't already healed it.
True.
And there's no getting around that. And that's very terrifying and it's very freeing at the same time. Because when couples come to me and when I speak to people, I do more individual work than couples work personally. When I speak to individuals about their relationship and they reach me and they're like, I'm at a brink because I can't do it anymore. We've tried everything. I've tried everything. And I ask them, this pattern keeps coming up for you, right? The cycle keeps showing up in your marriage or keeps showing up in your own personal life. What have you personally done to heal it? And if the answer is, well, nothing yet, my partner's the problem, I tell them, let's do this work for you. And then your relationship is going to show you if it's the right right vessel, if it's the right situation or not. But if you don't do this inner work on your own, you do not stand a chance, and life will continue to throw the same exact struggle in a different outfit.
Yeah, it's sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I think that's what we hear in the addiction rooms. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired because we're sick and tired of doing the same thing, and we're expecting different results.
And there's an anger that comes with that, and people are very afraid of their own anger. I think especially women are afraid of their own anger. Women are taught that we shouldn't be angry, and we shouldn't be resistant, and we shouldn't reach a point of breaking. And if you block that emotion, you actually block all emotions.
Wow.
And if you can't shatter the vessel of your own self, you've got nothing to give back to your partner.
Amazing. We were speaking about that the last stages of Kabbalah is that the feminine will be just like the masculine.
Yes.
So there's going to be a new love, which is called unconditional, I'm choosing you, versus I have to be with you.
Yeah.
And that could be a little bit of a threat to a lot of men.
Yes.
And men almost feel like, wow, she doesn't need me anymore, then she's going to leave me.
Yeah.
So I have to be like, it's going to create insecurity in that.
Yes.
I wonder how that dynamic is going to play out. And what men don't understand is they'll end up getting the blessing from God.
Yeah.
Well, they won't have to depend on her. But I feel like this is specifically today's men. I feel like this is going to be a big problem.
It's enormous. It's actually uprooting most of what men think about a relationship dynamic. I heard an incredible podcast. I have to send it to you.
Yeah.
All about this and about, to get very spiritual for a second, but in the times of Mashiach, how the masculine and the feminine are really going to be in this very symbiotic relationship.
Same thing.
Yeah, where it's not one over the other. It's not the masculine over the feminine. It's the more the masculine can accept and see the feminine as a very powerful, powerful truth. Right. Not just this mashpia, makabel, just the receiver. She's passive. Like, you see women in their rawness, right? Giving birth, doing the hard things. We're not just weak, passive people.
Sure.
And when the men can actually take that power and hone it and harness it and see the beauty of it, then it becomes their crown. And then that relationship, it's not I'm over you. It's not the man has to be in charge and the woman has to just follow. It's this very powerful thing, and a truth changes the dynamic, but it's going to require men and women to uproot their vision of how, classic relationships should be.
Right. And also women getting the power not to let it get to their head. That's always the danger when somebody receives power or somebody receives kavod. It could either it could influence, like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Or they can influence through the power of their own femininity.
For sure.
So dangerous. Power is a very dangerous, with the wrong receiver, power could go one way or the other.
Because power, it's never truly power for humans.
It's right. It's God.
It's all what God has given you.
Channeling the light of God.
Yes, and something that's in a container that can't necessarily give that light out, that's not power at all. That's chaos. Right. That's fire that destroys. It's not fire that can be the horsepower that lights up an entire, city.
So true. So true. So that's one of my worries. That I think that either men stepping up in that and really really not being insecure, and being in the right, and then the woman handling that power.
Yeah.
And Kabbalah tells us that power was given to men, just to hold an escrow to eventually give it back to them. So it really belongs to them.
Belongs to the men.
It belongs to the woman at the end.
Belongs to the women.
And that's going to be the last step of Mashiach.
Right. Wow.
Which is an incredible concept.
Yeah. And so the men have to accept this humility of my power can come from something outside of me.
From giving.
From giving, right? And from...
Not from controlling. Right?
Not from controlling. And from seeing the woman's light and from accepting and loving the woman's light and honoring it.
And supporting her.
And saying, go be everything you can be.
Exactly.
Don't just be in the kitchen. Go be everything you can be for me, for the kids, for everyone, for the world. And the women have to have worth and know that their worth is going to bring out this incredible power. Maybe I'm not just everything that I see right now. Maybe there is more inside of me. And I think there's a quiet desperation that a lot of women have because they don't accept their worth. And then once they find the worth, being able to deliver it back into the universe and back to their families and their partners in a way that does honor the femininity so that somebody else can receive it and it doesn't just destroy.
Amazing. Give me some tips on how women could receive their worth that you've seen, that you've helped out with your modalities.
I believe that a lot of women have their worth very deep down, and they know that they have this worthiness very deep down, and it speaks to them in quiet voices that they just kind of ignore. And they walk around and it's like, I have a feeling I should be doing more, or I can be doing more, or I even want to be taking care of myself more, and I want to look better, I want to be more fit, more healthy. But there's this other voice that's much more powerful. That's this martyr syndrome. I have to be a martyr. I have to be a doormat. The world can wipe the floor with me, and that means I'm doing something right. And that's not the reality. So it requires a very big mental shift for women too. But I think a lot of women have the whispers, and they just need somebody to give them permission. If you have that whisper inside of you, go listen to it. So for any woman whispering, this is your permission slip. Go listen to the words that are speaking to you and figure out what that means for you to find that power and to find your worth.
I think Kabbalah speaks about this being a combination between netzach and chod, having that endurance, but at the same time enjoying the process. I think people have a hard time with the process. Like it might take 3-4 shots to get there, to find something. It's not, hey, I tried it, it didn't work.
For sure.
That the process thing.
Yeah.
How did you start your firm, and how did you talk about that practice?
I also started my practice in an experience of a breaking.
Welcome to life.
Yeah. And in the moment, I got so angry about it.
The breaking
The breaking and the breaking, and then there's going to be more breaking. And then there's going to be beautiful light.
Yes.
When I was so much younger, I was probably like 19, I read this quote, "There's nothing more whole than a broken heart" by the Kutzker Rebbe. And I saw it, and it was so early on in my life and in my healing and my own journey that I'm like, that literally makes no sense. Whoever wrote this, like, all the power to you, but no. Like,
especially coming from a psychological mind, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, that just can't be. And I think my whole life's work is realizing how true that is. But it came from a breaking in my own personal life. I'd gone through a terrible, terrible breakup of my own. I was on my own. I was in my young 20s, and I channeled it to my work. I channeled it to being an incredible therapist. I channeled it to my independence, to my learning, to just hustling and grinding, which for me at the time was a very productive way of going through my own grief and my own healing.
Anything to avoid shame and
Yeah. Anything to avoid feeling like I was the problem or that I did something wrong or that
overambitious, right?
Yeah. And obviously I'm going to be fine if I can support myself and be everything that I need to be.
Girl.
Yeah, exactly. So there was that period for a couple of years, and then I was at this other company that I loved, and I was started just as a therapist and became a supervisor. Then I was the VP of People and Culture, and I was running ops across all of our offices in Boston and New York. And I burned myself out. I was ambitious to the point of breakdown. And there was a moment when I woke up, and I didn't even have time to go for a run that day. I didn't have time to make myself breakfast, to go to the gym. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. I actually can't go through another day wondering if I'm going to be all right.
That's a very common thing people are facing now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of burnout. They have to go from ambitious to alignment.
Yes, and that
contraction and be aligned.
Yes, that thing, and it was a huge contraction. I felt like I was losing everything that I had built, and all the relationships that I had, and everything that I had worked for. And there was a moment when I realized I have to take the loss. Like, I have to lose something, and it was very scary. There was a lot of uncertainty. I remember calling my dad. I'm like, if I'm on the streets and I have no money and I'm homeless, like, will you help me through? And he's like, you're not gonna be homeless, you're gonna be fine. And I didn't have any of my own patients. I didn't have anybody working for me. I just moved into this new apartment on the Upper East Side, and I had all these expenses. And I'm like, I'm doing this. There's no other choice. And I did it, and it's the best choice I ever made because now I have what I have. But it came with a total unknowing. I have no idea how this is gonna go.
So you got yourself in potential. The ultimate surrender.
Yeah, it felt like the ultimate surrender. And I think people are afraid of that thing too. I think we're taught to avoid anything that feels like the ultimate surrender.
And I think we often say, I'm going through a terrible breakup, terrible.
Yeah.
How do you know that's the greatest thing in the world for you?
It was the best breakup of my life.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I thank Hashem all the time for it.
We all label terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah. And even I'm
like, what defines terrible today?
Right.
Like, how do you know what terrible is today?
I don't think we ever can.
Yeah.
I think we know what feels terrible.
Correct.
And this is what we talked about last time on the podcast, that we're taught to be allergic to painful emotions, and we're taught to seek the pleasant, quote unquote, emotions. And that's why we do struggle with addiction of all sorts, to our phones, to
control,
substance.
Sedate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we tell ourselves this story that if I can control what emotions are input into my life, and I could avoid the terrible and I could chase the pleasant, I'm in control. But it's actually so much the opposite.
Absolutely. It's funny how marijuana does both. It controls and sedates. So it's like it does the both. Gives you 2 for 1.
I think a lot of substances.
Yeah. It has that both of control and sedation.
Yeah.
That's exactly what people are looking for. Wow.
Yeah. And how much do we do that in our relationships?
How often do you go into, spirituality as far as prayer, as far as, going back to the roots? And how do you know which person to do that with?
So it's hard because some people really aren't so spiritually attuned, or it's honestly just not part of their world, which is to me that's so okay.
Right, but how do you rationally? I mean, will you just use it as Carl Jung's work, like shadow work?
Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of like.
Exactly. So for people who aren't necessarily connected to traditional spirituality or the spirituality that I'm very familiar with, I tell them that spirituality is everything that's metaphysical.
Right.
You can't see your emotions, but you know they're happening. You can't see your relationship dynamic, but you feel it. You know it's happening. So anything that you can't necessarily see or touch, but you know is real, we can call that spirituality. And one of the ways that I bring out spirituality is the most is this higher level of yourself, this elevated version of yourself, the person that you want to be in 10 years. Maybe they're very calm. Maybe they're zen. Maybe they can respond instead of react. Maybe they've healed their inner child and they have peace. Let that be your North Star. Ask that person what they would do, how they would heal. What do you need to do to get to that place? That can be our definition of spirituality. But actually, more than that, spirituality can go backwards, right? Like, what are the things that got in the way of your life? What are the things that pained you so deeply that are orbiting around your universe that we need to go and touch? And that could be a very spiritual thing. Even the imagery is very vivid, like things that are orbiting around in this life.
Yeah, I mean, even anything really subconscious, you could say subconscious is the evil inclination. Anything, any thought you have of the past is coming from your ego, which is your evil inclination. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. But you just use the subconscious and all that. It's easier to sell it that way. I also, my treatment centers, I have to use all kinds of, But I'm saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's higher power, higher version of yourself, whatever it is, and people
layers,
know, layers. People relate to it. It's honestly like, how else could you understand the world if you can't start putting words to things that you can't feel or touch?
I think just the fact that somebody has a desire to go to therapy, I think that's 25 to 30% of the vessel itself. The fact that I need help. There's something greater than me. Just the fact that itself, I want to go to I need therapy. That humility will do 30% of the job.
I really disagree. It's really being able to say, there's something that I can't do on my own.
Right.
And that's such a humbling thing. I think when two people are in a relationship and one or both of them are saying there's something I can't do on my own, that already tells the other partner.
That's amazing.
They care, that they're willing to at least show up to the work.
Right. I think it's important to, whoever you're dealing with is show them the way. If you're going to say, okay, I don't like this, but here's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
I think today it's scattered energy, like even with employees, I don't like this about you. Okay, I would like for you to do this better.
Yeah.
I would like to hit this goal versus you're doing this terrible.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you leave a person with no hope.
Yeah.
Lead them where you think they could do better.
That takes real vulnerability too.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's such a change of the way you say it.
Small language change.
Yeah. This really bothers me, but this would make me happy.
Yeah.
I think guys always need a carrot. Tell us what to do. This will make you happy? No problem. They'll do it.
Yeah.
Versus,
you should figure it out.
Yeah, figure.
You should know me by now. We've been married for 10 years. You should know.
Correct.
And it's like, who died and decided that just because you're married, one of them is going to be a prophet?
Correct.
There's no such thing, but it requires real vulnerability to say.
That's the key.
You're wrong, right? That doesn't require vulnerability. But to say, I need this from you requires vulnerability because it says, I'm incomplete without you. I have to rely on you. And that's the scariest thing for men and for women to say.
I think also the concept of I'm choosing you versus I have to be with you. I'm married to you. I have 3 kids. I have this. It's a heavy thing. The concept of can you choose the person and say, this is unconditional choosing.
Yeah.
That itself, I think, also changes. Words, or sages tell us, words can make or break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Words can make or break.
Absolutely. There's a very famous marriage and family therapist named Terry Real. He wrote a bunch of books. Actually, one of them is so interesting, but kind of off topic. It's about the loneliness epidemic in men and how so many men are suffering from depression simply because of their loneliness in the world and their isolation.
Apparently 600,000 suicides apparently up here in this world.
Yeah, it's the statistics are staggering.
Staggering.
And obviously that's like suicide is the most extreme version of depression, but there's low-grade depression, high-functioning depression all the time. And I think so many men who walk into my office have no idea of the depression that they're experiencing.
Wow.
And because this feeling of total isolation, there's something wrong with me, I'm the only one going through it, I'm so flawed, I'm so broken, why does everybody else have it together and I don't? And anyway, his book on that is really incredible. And he writes another book, it's called Us. And he talks a lot about this inner child work that all people need to do in relationships and in marriages. He basically says, and this is a fascinating thing to think about Whenever you're in a fight with your partner, it's your inner child fighting with their inner child. You think you're in a fight with your partner, you're not. The child version of you is throwing rocks at the child version of them, saying, take care of me, you abandoned me. Why aren't you here for me? Why aren't you doing something different?
Yeah.
And if two people aren't both doing the work of healing their inner
1000%.
child, then you're just going to be two children fighting, begging for love, begging for attachment, begging for unity.
Right.
And he has this also like another really just powerful image that he uses with his couples. And he says, take that inner child of you. Let's say I'm talking to myself. Take the inner child of Aliza and put it on your back and tell this inner child that's in pain, I see you, I love you, and actually I'm going to protect you. And when you do that and you put this inner child on your back, number one, you're calming down the part of you that has been in pain, that needs healing. Number two, you're then able to express what you need to the other person, and that's what you were saying.
Wow.
You're able to say, inner child, not only am I loving you, but I am going to protect you so much, I'm going to get your needs met.
Wow.
And you can say to your partner, here's what I need from you right now. Whether or not you can do it, that's not my choice, but I'm going to tell you exactly what my deepest, darkest heart and soul needs from a vulnerable place, because I want you to care for me, and I'm not helpless at the same time. He calls it the adaptive child that's learned to be angry, to fight, to yell, to the effective adult, which says I can protect myself and speak in a way that's going to get my needs met.
Because there's really, I think there's four types of parents. There's high expectation, high warmth, right? And that's the best parent. There's high expectation, low warmth. That's the perfectionist. The kid's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Low expectation, low warmth, abandonment.
Yeah.
And then there's the high warmth, low expectations, enabler.
Yeah.
So it feels like somehow everybody falls into that. The four quadrants.
Yeah.
And that's becomes a management style and of masculine, feminine.
Yeah. And that's interesting. So many people don't even know that, right? Like that's such a powerful concept to think about your own childhood, and also how you're raising your kids and how you're showing up as a boss, as a leader. All those things are, no matter which way you slice it, and again, I say this as a very behavioral therapist, your childhood will impact who you are until you get in there and you change it.
It's scary stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll do anything to avoid a divorce, to not go through the kids to go through it. But that could be sometimes worse for the kids, you know? It's a scary stuff. It's just a big breaking of the vessels.
A big breaking of the vessels, and for the spin of hope, like that's how we grow. That's how we grow. That's how we grow. And 100%. I think we're in a time where there's a lot of tikkun with our partners, and sometimes our partners are forever, and that's the tikkun, and we have to break and shatter in ways that we never thought we would. And in my own life, I've had to break and shatter in so many ways that I never thought I needed to, simply because of my relationships. And that's beautiful, right? And then there are times where we go through relationships, and that shattering is exactly what we needed to pivot to the next stage. And
but I think it goes all down to one emotion. If there's trust, everything will work out. If there's fear, it seems to be everything's based on. Once the fear goes in, codependencies, fear of abandonment, you know.
Yeah.
When we contract, then nobody's allowed in. You know? That's really even with our Creator, when we contract. You know, when we go through tough times in business, we get worried, we contract, we cut charity. You know, and it's like, and that causes like more constriction. You know, the whole key is trust is really, if we trust, I think trust is really the greatest asset.
Yeah, and if you don't trust your partner, it's a very scary life. And if you don't trust God or the universe to be on your team with whatever you're going to go through, that's also really scary. And when people say to me, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be with them, if I should leave. And I say, do you trust the universe to catch you whichever path you take? And if there's a fear there, then we work on that fear first, and then sometimes the rest follows. Yeah,
because usually questions have fear in them.
Of course.
Yeah, a question creates safek. I think that's one of the things our sages tell us. When a person has faith, he has no questions. When a person has doubt, he has no answers.
And I would challenge that a little bit, because I think that I think there's a path to like Kabbalistic certainty. There's a path to it for a lot of us. Some of us, I think, are more naturally born with this. I can leap and I can just run. Some of us are not. I'm
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
category of not.
Right.
I have to work towards
You have to work
certainty, and I have to work towards.
You have Virgo.
Toler-
You have Virgo energy, but you're not a Virgo, right?
I'm an Aquarius.
You're an Aquarius.
Yeah.
So your always issues with probably Aquarius is always with emotional attachment.
Yeah. There's a lot
It's
of
it's hard to emotionally attach.
and because that
You're always in
for
the future, Aquarius is.
always in the future and always a feel. And I'm getting like vulnerable on this podcast because I think we can. But
Yeah.
there's always this feeling of I'm emotionally in my own orbit. Aquariuses are very, very emotional.
Yeah. And they like independence.
And they like independence because they feel there's a lot of people who don't understand my emotional world. So if you can't understand it, how could you help me with it?
Correct.
Right? And a lot of the tikkun there is saying, so who cares if they don't understand it? Bring them in anyway. Teach them, show them. And also, you're okay. Like, you don't need
Yeah.
everyone to fix it for you.
My son, may rest in peace. He was an Aquarius.
Wow.
And anytime I told him what to do, he didn't do it. But anytime I just did it by myself, he followed me.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
with him is show him the way.
Yes.
Don't tell him.
Yes.
And it worked 1,000 times. I remember him waking up 5 o'clock in the morning to pray
Yeah.
with me.
Wow.
If I told him to it, no, he won't do it.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's almost the reverse. So I think we have to understand also how everybody processes the world, and then cater towards that
Yeah.
instead of forcing our way of doing it. you
And
know?
I think that's such a big thing also in
yeah.
marriages. It's, oh God, and I think we talked about this too last time. If two people would just say, I'm going to stay in my lane, I'm going to drive 100 in my lane, I'm not worrying about your lane, how different would marriages look?
100%. And we all have based on our signs, based on our communication, we have a whole different operating system.
Do you use a lot of signs in your work with helping people and supporting people?
I get to every detail possible.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I need to understand how he's thinking.
yeah,
If I understand how he's thinking, then it's a whole different recipe.
right.
Right. And I think I think between you and me, kids should go to school. Teachers should know where they're coming from, what kind of souls there are, instead of just saying put them in this room, because you could deal with kids that have like tremendous energy, and you're sticking a Gemara in front of them, and they're gonna break, and then you're gonna get them Ritalin. You're gonna lower the volume where he's supposed to be doing completely something
Shining,
else.
he's supposed to be
shining or doing something outreach or.
Yeah.
It's so much misunderstanding in the world today.
Yes.
It's because we want to. I think Carl Jung says it's easier to judge than to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're quicker to judge.
Yeah.
So even our sages tell us, don't judge. First, understand.
Yeah.
And so the Baal Shem Tov tells us that you can't judge. You can't love somebody while you're judging them. Judgment blocks love.
Yes. That's a.
And when demands begin,
Huge.
love departs. So, but anytime again we either judge or we demand, we lose the ability to flourish.
Yeah, and again, that's another dialectic, because then the other side of the coin, and people say to me, well, I have to have standards in my marriage. And I say, you know what? Of course you do.
Of course you have standards.
Of course you do. But I'm not supposed to judge them. You don't have to judge, but you could discern what's effective and what's not effective, what's helpful, what's harmful, what's within your, relationship values, and what's outside of it. And when you have that power to do that, not from a judgmental place, I'm just saying simply, this no longer works for me.
Right.
And if you can receive that and you can get on board to change it, and I'll be patient with you because I know it's going to require time, but if you can do that, I want to stay, and I want to be in it. But we have to be able to discern what's working for me and what's not, and that's a lot of the power that we need to give back again to women and to men, so that we don't feel stuck. And it's not just I have to choose him, I have to accept him, I can't judge him. That lives in this hand, and then in the other hand, we have to be able to say acceptance and love can always be paired with choice and with change. They both have to exist.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, there's always spirituality. It's always about holding paradoxes.
Yes.
It's a deep person can handle two concepts.
Yes.
I'm broken, at the same time I'm whole.
Yes.
My marriage is not perfect, but at the same time it is perfect because I'm becoming the best
forcing me
version
to
of
grow.
me.
Yeah.
You get me? Like
Gedalia, you could work in my practice. This is what we talk about all the
okay.
time. These are dialectics.
I have a full schedule, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's that whole concept of understanding both exist.
Exactly.
I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
Even with people in recovery, I'm 15 days clean. Yeah, but you're made a mess of your life.
Yeah.
But you have to sing with what you have
Yes.
at that time. There's a time to this is why I love Rabbi Nachman's teaching so much. It's because he tells you, listen, when you're in the top of the mountain, humble up. But when you're in the lower of the mountain, you have the whole sky in front of you. I love that those two those two concepts. You know, when you're lowering, the sky's in front of you.
Yeah.
And humble up. Know where it came from.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Peaks and Valleys is another great book.
Who writes that?
I forgot his name, but it's a phenomenal book.
I'll look it up.
It's how we're always going to be in the valley or a peak.
Yeah.
So how do we stay in the peak longer? We're more grateful.
Yeah.
But on the valley, you're going to learn the lessons on the valleys.
Yeah.
Which is going to get you to the peak.
Yeah.
So it's you're either in a peak or a valley.
Always.
Correct.
Always.
But if you don't get the lesson in the peak, in the valley, you'll never get to the peak.
There's this beautiful quote that I recently reposted. I don't remember it exactly, but it's
Your
something
quotes
about,
are great, by the way. Your quotes are great. They're phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
They really
they
hit something in me, and I believe that they hit things in other people. But something like, when you have to go down to the bottom of the ocean, don't come back up unless you found a pearl.
Learn the lesson.
Right?
Don't leave without the lesson.
If you're going to be forced to go to the bottom of the ocean, you're going to have to be on the ocean floor. Better not come back up until you found a pearl. And once you come back up, if you're holding a pearl, my God, you're going to be so grateful that somebody sent you to the bottom.
One of my favorite Tehillim that I read is 118. Right in the 118 it says, "Min hamitzar behem raya." In my constriction, you expanded me. Like the expansion came from the constriction.
Yeah.
Like I keep on saying, I'm in the constriction, but wow, what an expansion coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a team, you know, getting rid of all their players so they can finally draft better and all of a sudden eventually win.
Yeah.
But in my constriction, you gave me expansiveness. So
Yeah.
There's always that expansiveness that comes after the constriction.
Yeah, of course.
That's why anything you're doing in that constriction is really the test.
Yeah.
That's the test. It's how you handle the constriction. It's going to come to you, whether you like it or not. How you handle it is the key.
Thinking about attachment styles for a second.
Sure.
One of there are forming kinds of attachment style. There's anxious, avoidant, ambivalent, which is the cocktail of anxious and avoidant, and then there's secure.
Talk about this for you.
So anxious attachment style is usually the parents were avoidant, actually, and left the kid on their own. And the kid had to search for love, and they were never sure they were going to have it.
Right.
So they grow up into adults. They become the adults that are seeking love, holding, controlling, never actually believing that they have it.
Wow.
So anxiety permeates all their relationships and mostly all of their life. Anxiety doesn't discriminate. So if it shows up in your work, it's going to show up in your love life. If it shows up in your love life, it's going to show up with your kids. It's all there. So that's anxious. Avoidant attachment style usually comes from either parents who were, I'm here and I'm not there, or they were a little bit smothering. They never gave the child room to grow and room to self-express.
Too much chesed.
Too much chesed, too much give. And
Out of guilt.
Out of guilt, out of their own fear, out of their own worthiness. If I'm not a mother, who am I? I have no worth. It's like you can't do that to a kid. So they grow up and they need to avoid. And they need to avoid people because they have a fear of being smothered. And if I'm vulnerable, I'm going to break. So there's a lot
So they grow up, you're saying that they're going to grow up avoidant.
They grow up avoidant. And avoidance shows up in a marriage as the second the emotional temperature gets too hot, they run away. And the second that there's too much vulnerability, they have to flee. Their nervous system doesn't know how to sit in intimacy, because intimacy feels dangerous. It feels like literally like a plastic bag is going over their head and they're going to die.
Wow.
So they have to run. And then there's the anxious ambivalent, which is, I would say, the hardest attachment style to treat, because you don't know which one's going to rear its head at any moment. And sometimes I'm so anxious that I need to reach out to you, and sometimes I'm so scared of that intimacy that I have to run away. We call it like the I hate you, don't leave me.
Right.
And
or if you leave me, take me with you.
Yeah. That's good. I don't think I ever heard that one.
Yeah,
that's good.
If you leave me, take me with you.
Yes, that's good. So that shows up too, and then there's secure. But the reason I brought this up is because a lot of people who have that avoidance as part of their personality, they don't know how to be in that struggle with the universe. They don't know how to be in that constriction. So when constriction comes, they run from their own lives too. And they say, I'm out of here. God, you're showing me a breaking of the vessel. You're showing me a constriction. Get me out of here. And it's a shame because that's where their healing is, right? Like if I can learn how to be in it, in the constriction, how I could be angry at God and tell him that I love him at the same time, which is the same for marriages, right? I can be angry at you and I can tell you that I love you at the same time. That's how you heal. But also there's all that potent blessing that happens from that point of restriction. And when people are avoidant, they miss out on all of that. So it's important to keep in mind your attachment style, even with the universe, because it's going to show you moments of, here's all your blessing is going to lie, or you just have to hang in. And if we can do that, then we'll be able to heal.
Which is the fourth one?
Secure.
Secure. That's
the high warmth, high achieving parents who are saying like, I love you so much and I believe in you. And secure, actually, one of the most incredible parts about attachment styles is that they can change. They're malleable. They're not fixed. One of the best ways to heal an attachment style is by marrying a secure partner.
Wow.
Because a secure partnership who says, I will be here. I have my own boundaries. I'm going to leave if you abuse me, but I will be here, can actually infiltrate somebody else's nervous system, and they learn. Calm them down, and they actually see what my parents didn't teach me. I'm learning from this other human. And their attachment style actually changes in turn.
So there's a guy who wrote a book on this, Attached.
Yes.
And he wrote down
Amir Levine.
Yeah, Amir Levine, right?
Yeah.
He gave me the book.
The new one?
I think so.
He has a new one.
By Mosaic Press?
Oh no, that's different. That's no. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he basically showed how this is exactly what the creator. Like your relationship with God is based on that style of your parents.
Yes.
Like some of us have a varying, something happens, we get anxious with God, we avoid him. Yes, it's funny how everybody operates completely different.
Yeah. That's exactly right. It's a purple book, right?
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So Amir Levine wrote a book, Attached.
Okay.
That's just about attachment styles. It has like 2 magnets on the cover. It's very fascinating for anybody who wants to just learn about their own attachment style. It's really interesting. But then there's another book by Mosaic Press that is called Attached also, and that one's very special too.
Yeah.
Because it brings it all into spirituality and
Judaism
and your relationship with God. And it's a very interesting read as well, yeah.
So you gotta worry about your attachment style, your horoscope sign.
Yeah.
It's a lot of inner work, man.
It's a lot of inner work.
It's a lot of inner work.
It's a lot, but
it seems like wow, it's a lot of inner work. It's a lot of inner work.
But when you close your eyes and you fall asleep at night, right? Like if you aren't doing the work of healing, what are you thinking about?
What else are you doing? Correct.
You're thinking about what your bank account is going to be tomorrow. You're thinking about if you're going to buy the bag, if you're going to take the trip. What are you thinking about? Where's the meaning in that?
The truth is, it's either you're going to toil in this or you're going to toil in stupidity and nonsense.
Our brains are meaning-making machines. So you're going to make meaning about whether or not I should buy the bag, or you're going to make meaning about whether or not I can break myself more deeply for the sake of my marriage. And then the result is going to be the result. You're either going to have the bag that you like or you don't like, or you're going to have a marriage that's so much more deep.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of work, but also like I've seen people who don't do the work, and I look at their lives and I'm like, I don't know if I want that either.
No.
So
I was asked. I did a huge Shabbaton in New York.
Yeah.
And I was at one of these hotels by Safra, and they asked me, what would you like? Would you prefer a higher? I said, can I have an upgrade, please?
Yeah.
Do you want more space or a better view? So I'm like, that's a very deep, deep relational question.
You're like, let me think on that for like 2
I
weeks.
asked first. I said space for sure, but can I have both, please?
Yeah. Good. Did they give it to you?
They did give it to me.
That's what happens when we request things from the universe.
Yeah, you have to ask for both.
Sometimes you have permission to ask for both.
Yeah, I said this. Why not have both? Because usually one goes without the other. If you get the view, you don't get the space usually. You know what
deep work it requires for somebody to actually realize in their brains, I'm allowed to ask for both.
Yeah, but that's a worthiness question.
And that's a worthiness question. It's a belief in a higher power question. It's a belief that Hashem actually loves me and cares.
And He wants the best for you.
And He wants the best for me more than I do.
Because I'll enjoy both. If you don't enjoy it, then you don't create a satisfaction. You don't create an appetite for it.
And then also, what's the point of giving it to you if you're not going to have that appreciation? But you know how long it took me to even register that in my own head? Something could be very pleasant and comfortable for me, and I can ask that of the universe. it was such a mindset shift. I saw this hilarious thing on Instagram. I'm going to send it to you. It was about somebody who was in heaven at a restaurant asking for dinner.
Right.
And she sits there and she gets a plate of fries and she looks around and everybody else has like pasta, pizza, this, that. And she's like, how come you guys get all that? Like, that's not on the menu. My menu only has fries. And they're like, that menu? Your parents gave you that menu. There actually is no menu. This is heaven.
Oh my God.
And she's like,
so
really? I can ask for anything? They're like, yeah, ask for anything. So she asked for pasta.
It's
and
very
then
deep.
the angel gives her more fries. She looks at the person next to her and says, I asked for pasta, but they gave me more fries. They're like, yeah, that's just the universe testing you to see if you really want pasta. Send it back. So she sends back the fries. And it's this whole like conversation with this waiter in universe.
Wow.
And eventually she says, but I really want the pasta. And the waiter says, but do you actually like believe that you're deserving of the pasta? And she has to like think about it. And she says, yeah. So she finally gets the pasta, but it required her to do all this inner work. I'm going to send it to you. It's very amazing.
That's very deep.
Yeah.
It's very deep. We could learn so much things from small things like that.
Yeah.
But that's exactly why you're supposed to really be praying for spiritual requests, because then you get both.
Yeah.
Like if you pray for self-esteem, you're going to get a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Right? If you pray for trust in God, you're going to automatically make more money because
you're
going to give more and you're going to make decisions.
Yeah.
You know, if you pray for, to grow, you're automatically going to be able to give and have purpose in life.
Yeah.
It's when we're only asking for, I need money.
Yeah.
I need to be married. Yeah, but that's just putting a bandage on a bullet wound.
Totally. And if prayer doesn't necessarily resonate with people, then you could apply the same concept to your own inner growth. You want a healthy marriage? Learn how to be at peace.
Peace, yeah.
And when you accept peace, either you're going to look at your marriage and say, I can't do this anymore, this isn't peace, or you're going to realize that, like, maybe you were the problem. And once you learned peace, your marriage became more peaceful.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you're seeking in life, you can ask for it and you can become it. That was actually the last part of the video.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped asking for it and she worked on her worth and then she got the pasta. But if the prayer isn't working or isn't resonating with you, you have to become it. Instead of asking for more money, you become a vessel that is going to be able to hold more money, whatever that means to you. Maybe it's an anger issue. Maybe it's a worthiness issue. I'm worthy of this. You stop worrying about whether or not you're going to get the money, and then it will come.
You know, I remember this story, tells me a story about, there was a guy who, back then, when we used to be kids, they used to steal newspapers. The guy used to steal newspapers. It was one of these guys. He used to steal newspapers. And he used to always come and he used to always crack a joke. He says, what's the best city in the world? Generosity. So everybody would laugh and get pay him for the newspaper. What's the best nation in the world? Donation.
Yeah.
So he found a way, like, to even think big. Even the guy stealing papers, he's thinking,
That's good.
now he's a comedian and entrepreneur.
That's hilarious, yeah.
But it goes to show you, instead of saying, "Can I give me a quarter?" He found a way.
Yeah.
And heaven wants you to argue with him. Heaven wants you to prove your worth. Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah.
If you don't forgive them, erase me from the book.
Yeah.
God wants to be convinced.
Yeah.
On the argument, and he's happy when you win.
Yes.
And he gives you the words to win. That's to show you that he does want you to shoot higher. Hashem wants us to shoot higher.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to settle for the smallest. And that's what Kabbalists tell us. God wants to give you the greatest pleasure in the world.
Yeah.
But you have to ask for it.
You have to be able to.
You have to ask for the bigger space and the more room.
Yeah.
And don't think it's one's without the other.
And you have to be willing to say, whether or not Hashem gives it to me, it's not my business, per se.
But even if he doesn't give it to you, it's not that he doesn't want to give it to you. He just wants you to build a bigger vessel to receive it.
Right.
Even the no is a yes.
Right. So even if you didn't get that hotel room in the moment, at that time, you keep praying for it.
Correct.
You don't give up. You don't stop. And you say, Hashem, I'm mad at you. You didn't give me this hotel room that I asked for, even though I thought I was getting my worth. I don't understand. I didn't get the fries, even though I just asked you for the fry or the pasta. You just keep giving me more fries, and it's like, no.
That's a great example.
Even in that, you keep digging, you keep building, you have to believe it.
Yeah.
To believe it, and then you have to trust that it will eventually.
Reb Nachman got to a point where he couldn't give advice directly to people because they couldn't hear it.
Really?
So he came out with stories.
Wow.
Yeah, and now rabbis at Breslov research, or they're coming out with like cartoons and movies.
Wow.
It's because the deepest concepts are in stories, are in parables.
there's a therapy modality called ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. I'm sure you're familiar a little bit from the addiction work. It's all metaphors.
I love that.
It's all metaphors. And there's, I'll tell you my favorite metaphor, if I may.
Sure, of course.
It's I'll try to make it quick, but it's the metaphor of somebody who is walking through this desert blindfolded, and all they have is a toolkit on their back. Walking, and they fall into a pothole. Huge 6-foot pothole. And they don't know how to get out. So they reach into their toolkit, and they see a shovel, and they say, perfect. So what do they start doing? They start to dig. Right? So they take the shovel, and they dig, and then throw out the dirt, dig, throw out the dirt, dig. And like, what's happening? I'm not getting out of this pothole. So they dig harder, and they dig harder, and they dig harder. And they're like, universe, you gave me a shovel. Get me out. You gave me a tool. Get me out of this pothole. I need to get out. I want to get out. I so badly want to get out. They dig as hard as they can. And one day, after they're digging with all their might, they're done. They're exhausted. And they throw down the shovel. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. I'm not going to get out. They throw down the shovel. When they throw down the shovel, they hear something else in that backpack. They take off the blindfold, and they see that in the backpack was like a rope ladder. Could you dig yourself out of a hole? Of course not. If you dig, you're making it deeper.
That's right.
But if the first tool in your toolkit is a shovel, you automatically assume, I have to dig.
Right.
So when you drop the shovel, you drop all the things that you're trying to do in the struggle. Trying, exhausting yourself. You drop the shovel.
Yeah.
I'm helpless. I have nothing.
Let go.
I surrender. I let go. The tools that you gave me, even they're not working. You drop it, and then you take off the blindfold, and there you see, oh, there was something else, but I would have never known it if I didn't learn how to surrender.
The problem's the solution.
Yes.
Beautiful. So nice to have you always. May God bless you. You should continue.
Amen, and same for you.
All of us, we all need inner child healing. Go to a therapist. A person should go. Again, a therapist is going to isolate the issue, tell you what to work on, and then you need the creator. You need to fix it with the relationship with the creator.
It's the creator, and then it's the right people who guide you, and for the people who have that voice inside of them that says,
so important.
There's something that I can heal, there's something that I want to heal, honor it, listen to it, and run with it.
And don't be afraid to go to therapy.
Yes.
I'm going to inner child therapy myself.
Yeah.
I said something's happening in the inner child that I'm not seeing.
Right.
And it's been tremendously helpful to see it from a different angle.
Well, thank you for that vulnerability.
Yeah, to see it from a different angle that I didn't even see it.
Yeah, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
well, thank you for this conversation.
My pleasure.
So
always.
wonderful as always.
Amazing.